You've probably heard people talk about universal laws as if they were abstract ideas, distant concepts that only matter in theory. But the truth is simpler and more uncomfortable. These laws are already shaping your life, whether you believe in them or not. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you dwell in, every action you take is already in conversation with something larger. And once you become aware of that conversation, everything starts to change. The first thing to understand is this: nothing in your life is random. The law of divine oneness reminds you that everything is connected. Your inner world and your outer experiences are not separate. When you feel disconnected from life, it's usually because you're disconnected from yourself. This is where awareness begins. The law of vibration explains why your emotional state matters more than your intentions. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you consistently resonate with. When you live in stress, fear, or constant urgency, life responds with more situations that match that frequency. Calm creates calm. Chaos multiplies chaos. Keep this because it's important. Then comes the law of correspondence. As within, so without. The patterns in your external world are reflections, not punishments. If you keep encountering resistance, ask yourself where you're resisting internally. When you bring order inside, the outside begins to reorganize naturally. The law of attraction is often misunderstood. It's not about positive thinking or forcing optimism, it's about emotional honesty. What you feel most often is what you invite more of. When gratitude, trust, and presence become familiar states, life mirrors them back in unexpected ways. The law of inspired action reminds you that alignment is not passive. Awareness without movement creates stagnation. Movement without awareness creates exhaustion. When your actions are aligned with your inner state, effort feels lighter and progress feels natural. Pay attention to this. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy explains why nothing stays the same unless you hold it there. Energy moves, emotions shift, thoughts evolve, but only if you allow them to. When you cling to old stories, you freeze energy in place. Release allows transformation. The law of cause and effect shows you that every choice matters, not dramatically, but cumulatively. Small decisions repeated daily shape outcomes more than rare moments of intensity. Consistency beats bursts of motivation. Quality beats quantity. This law quietly rewards patience. The law of compensation explains why effort alone doesn't guarantee results. What you give returns in proportion to alignment, not struggle. When you act from resentment, you receive resistance. When you act from clarity, you receive clarity. Life doesn't measure effort. It responds to intention behind action. The law of relativity reminds you to stop comparing. Every challenge feels heavy until you realize it's shaping you. Comparison drains energy because it pulls your attention away from growth. When you focus on your own path, progress becomes visible again. The law of polarity teaches that light and shadow coexist. Growth doesn't mean eliminating discomfort, it means understanding it. Resistance and ease are part of the same spectrum. When you stop fighting discomfort, it stops controlling you. Many people ignore this. The law of rhythm explains emotional cycles. Some days you feel clear, other days you feel lost. This isn't failure, it's movement. When you stop judging fluctuations, you stay grounded through them. Stability comes from acceptance, not control. The law of gender, often misunderstood, speaks about balance. Creation requires both intention and receptivity, action and surrender, focus and rest. When one dominates, imbalance appears. Balance restores flow. Here's what ties all these laws together: awareness. These laws don't ask for belief, they respond to consistency. The more conscious you become of your inner state, the more intentionally you interact with life. This is spiritual intelligence in practice. You don't need to master all 12 laws at once. You're already living by them.
The shift happens when you stop resisting responsibility and start using awareness as a tool instead of a burden. When you understand these laws, manifestation stops feeling magical and starts feeling logical. You stop asking why things happen to you and start noticing how you participate in them. Over time, this awareness changes your identity. You become less reactive, more present, more grounded, not because life becomes easier, but because you become steadier. This is the real power of the universal laws. They don't promise perfection, they offer clarity, and clarity creates freedom. If you live consciously, these laws work with you. If you live unconsciously, they work anyway, just without your permission. And now, use this moment consciously. If this message resonated with you, interact with it intentionally. Leave a like as a signal of alignment with what you're learning. Share this video with someone who's living the same patterns but hasn't recognized them yet. And comment below which universal law you feel has been influencing your life the most lately. Awareness grows when it's expressed, and what you acknowledge, you begin to master.